In the early 20th century, a group of French visionaries embarked on a quest to uncover the hidden energies of the universe. They called their practice Radiesthesia, a term derived from Latin and Greek roots meaning sensitivity to radiation. This was no ordinary science. Radiesthesia blended the boundaries of physics, mysticism, and human intuition, claiming that the human body could detect invisible vibrations emanating from objects, people, and even the Earth itself. Today, we journey through the fascinating history of French Radiesthesia, exploring its origins, its pioneers, and its enduring legacy. Radiesthesia's roots stretch deep into history, long before it earned its modern name. Ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Chinese, used tools like divining rods to locate water or sacred sites. In medieval Europe, dowsing, the practice of finding underground water or minerals with a forked stick, was commonplace, often shrouded in secrecy and suspicion. By the 18th century, Jesuit priests in France and beyond refined these techniques, but it was in the early 20th century that Radiesthesia, as we know it, began to take shape, transforming from a folk practice into a structured discipline. Enter Abbé Alexis Bouly, the man who gave Radiesthesia its name. A French Catholic priest born in the late 19th century, Bouly was no stranger to the mysteries of the unseen. Bouly believed that dowsing was more than superstition. It was a science of detecting subtle radiations. In 1930, he coined the term Radiesthesia to distinguish his methodical approach from traditional dowsing, which he viewed as less rigorous. Bouly coined the term Radiesthesie, derived from the Latin radius, ray or rod, and the Greek aesthesis, sensation. The word captured the essence of his practice, perceiving invisible energies through a sensitive instrument, whether a wand or his own attuned hands. Bouly's work wasn't limited to finding hidden objects. He collaborated with doctors and hospitals, using his pendulum to identify bacteria in medical samples, with results verified by microscopes. In 1929, he founded the Association of the Friends of Radiesthesia in Lille, a group dedicated to advancing this emerging field. Bouly's vision was clear. Radiesthesia could unlock the secrets of the universe, from the physical to the metaphysical. In 1913, Bouly met the geologist Jacques de Lapparent. It was Lapparent who first noticed Bouly's unusual sensitivity to the unseen forces of the earth. Holding a simple hazel wand, Bouly found that it quivered in his hands near hidden water sources. "The wand turned better with me," he later recalled. This was no mere parlor trick. Bouly's gift for dowsing, locating underground water, metals, and even lost objects, required relentless practice. "It is only through hard work, constant practice that one can achieve a result," he said. And results he delivered. In Boulogne-sur-Mer, he pinpointed the lost basin of the Saint-Jean-Baptistery, buried 3 meters deep, for a despairing Monseigneur Lejeune. In Roubaix, he identified water sources for industrial spinners. His reputation grew, and soon his talents were sought far beyond the French countryside. By the 1920s, Abbé Bouly was a man in demand. Governments, scientists, and even royalty called upon him. He asked for no payment, only reimbursement for expenses and donations to his charitable works. In 1927, the government of the Canary Islands summoned him to combat a crippling drought. Bouly's efforts yielded 10 freshwater sources, transforming barren lands into fertile fields of bananas and early vegetables. Each year, grateful Canary Islanders sent him bunches of bananas, a quiet tribute to his impact. Bouly's ambitions stretched beyond water. He turned his dowsing rod to metals, unearthing treasures in Merovingian tombs, and aiding the French Ministry of War in the grim task of locating unexploded ordnance in the battle-scarred north. His wand, he claimed, could even detect microbes, a bold assertion that drew both admiration and skepticism. Working with a physician, Bouly diagnosed illnesses by sensing microbial radiations, his findings often aligning with medical diagnoses. To some, he was a healer; to others, a curiosity. Yet none could deny his results. Skeptics abounded, of course. Science demanded proof, and Radiesthesia straddled the line between empirical and mystical. Bouly welcomed the scrutiny, engaging with geologists, physicians, and academics. His collaborations with figures like Albert de Lapparent and his inclusion in prestigious circles, such as the Geological Society of France, lent credibility to his work. Still, he never sought to convert the doubters. His focus was on results: water for the thirsty, safety for the war-torn, healing for the sick. By the 1930s, at age 65, Bouly began to slow his travels, focusing on his parish and local projects. His legacy, however, was secure. The term Radiesthesia entered the lexicon, and his association thrived, drawing members from across the globe. He continued to lecture, sharing his knowledge with a mix of humility and conviction. As Bouly laid the groundwork, two other French pioneers, Léon Chaumery and André de Belizal, pushed radiesthesia into bold new territory. In the 1930s, these physicists and explorers of the unseen developed what they called microvibrational physics, a theory that all matter vibrates at specific frequencies, forming an interconnected web of energy. Their book, Traité expérimental de physique radiesthésique, published around 1940, remains a cornerstone of radiesthetic study. Chaumery and de Belizal were not content with merely detecting vibrations. They sought to manipulate them, using specially designed pendulums and tools like the Egyptian pendulum, inspired by ancient amulets, to influence the physical world. Their experiments took them from the pyramids of Egypt, where they sensed powerful energies in the stones, to laboratories filled with esoteric charts and instruments. Their work suggested that radiesthesia could heal, harmonize environments, and even enhance human consciousness. Together, they mapped a spectrum of radiesthetic colors, vibrations like red, violet, and green, each with unique properties. But one discovery would prove both profound and perilous: the negative green energy band. Negative green is no ordinary vibration. Described as a penetrating carrier wave, it holds and transmits information with unmatched potency. The ancient Egyptians, masters of this science, harnessed negative green in their tombs, using it to mummify remains and ward off intruders. It was a force of power, revered and feared. Chaumery and de Belizal, in their relentless pursuit, sought to understand this energy. They calibrated their universal pendulum, a wooden sphere with a radiesthetic pile, to detect and emit negative green. Their experiments revealed its place on the vibrational spectrum, opposite the life-affirming green, nestled between black and white, a gray zone of immense power. Yet this pursuit of the invisible came with risks. Chaumery's life ended tragically when he succumbed to what his colleagues believed was an overdose of harmful vibrational energies during an experiment. He was found in his lab by de Belizal, dead in a mummified state. Chaumery had built a series of hemispheres to amplify negative green energy. Unfortunately, it also amplified vertical negative green, which resulted in his death and mummification. In electromagnetic waves, the vertical component is electric in nature, and the horizontal component is magnetic. For the energies of the radiesthesia colors, the horizontal component is beneficial, whereas the vertical component is detrimental to health. The ancient architects understood the phenomena of harmful and beneficial aspects of these energies. They knew that introducing certain artifacts on domes and pyramids corrected for the detrimental aspects of vertical negative green. His death was a stark reminder of the uncharted territory radiesthesia explored. Undeterred, de Belizal and others pressed on, refining techniques like physical dowsing, which used tools such as pendulums or rods, and mental dowsing, which relied solely on the practitioner's mind to sense energies. These methods found applications in medicine, agriculture, and even architecture, as practitioners sought to avoid geopathic stress, harmful earth energies believed to affect health. De Belizal continued their work into the 1970s, refining their tools and theories. He collaborated with figures like Louis Turenne, another pioneer of physical radiesthesia, and mentored a new generation of practitioners. His writings grew more philosophical, blending science with metaphysical insights. Yet he never lost sight of their original mission: to elevate radiesthesia to a respected discipline. By the time of his death in 1980, de Belizal had become a legend, his name synonymous with innovation. Léon Chaumery and André de Belizal were more than dowsers. They were pioneers who dared to explore the edges of human understanding. Their tools, pendulums, cones, and charts, were extensions of their belief that the universe speaks in vibrations, if only we learn to listen. From the farms of France to the lecture halls of Europe, their legacy resonates, a testament to the power of curiosity and the courage to seek answers in the unseen. However, for all their progress, their work was merely trying to understand practices and concepts that had been lost millennia earlier. In the sun-scorched sands of ancient Egypt, Where the Nile breathed life into a civilization of unparalleled sophistication, the seeds of radiesthesia were sown. Long before the term radiesthesia was coined in 20th century France, the Egyptians practiced an intuitive art of sensing hidden energies, a precursor to the modern discipline of dowsing. Their profound understanding of the unseen forces that shaped their world left an indelible mark on radiesthesia, influencing its tools, principles, and philosophy thousands of years later. The Egyptians believed the universe was alive with divine energies, or Heka, a cosmic force that flowed through all things, stone, water, and human spirit alike. Priests and architects, revered as masters of this sacred knowledge, used simple tools like rods and pendulums to locate underground water and determine auspicious sites for temples. The precision of their pyramids, aligned with celestial bodies and built on geologically stable ground, suggests a sensitivity to Earth's subtle vibrations, a skill radiesthesia would later formalize. These early dowsers, guided by intuition and ritual, laid the groundwork for detecting what modern practitioners call telluric currents. Central to Egypt's influence was its mastery of sacred geometry. The shapes of pyramids, obelisks, and sphinxes were not mere aesthetics, but vessels for channeling energy. Modern radiesthetists, like André de Belizal, drew inspiration from these forms, theorizing that geometric structures emitted specific vibrations, some healing, others harmful. De Belizal's pendule égyptien, designed in the 1960s, was directly modeled on Egyptian pendulums, its conical shape echoing the tools depicted in ancient reliefs. He believed these designs amplified the user's sensitivity to cosmic and terrestrial radiations, a nod to Egypt's belief that form and function were intertwined with universal harmony. The Egyptians also understood the power of materials. They used quartz, copper, and gold in their dowsing tools, materials chosen for their conductive properties. Radiesthesia's modern practitioners, inspired by this, select pendulums with care, believing that certain substances enhance their ability to detect energies. The Ankh, Egypt's cross of life, was often incorporated into dowsing practices, its looped design thought to resonate with vital forces. This reverence for material and symbol underscores radiesthesia's debt to a civilization that saw the physical world as a reflection of the divine. Egypt's influence reached modern radiesthesia through the esoteric revival of the 19th and 20th centuries, when scholars and mystics rediscovered its wisdom. Figures like Abbé Alexis Bouly and de Belizal studied Egyptian texts and artifacts, finding parallels between their dowsing and the ancients' methods. The pyramids' enduring mystery, how they were built, why they endured, fueled theories that Egypt harnessed Earth's energies in ways science is only beginning to grasp. Today, radiesthesia carries forward this ancient legacy, blending intuition with precision, just as Egypt's priests once did, divining the hidden currents that pulse beneath our feet. Radiesthesia remains a niche but vibrant practice, particularly in France, where it enjoys a cultural foothold. From its ancient origins to its modern applications, French radiesthesia has captivated those who believe the universe speaks in vibrations. Abbé Bouly, Chaumery, de Belizal, and others dared to listen, leaving a legacy that challenges us to explore the unseen forces that shape our world. As we stand on the cusp of new scientific frontiers, perhaps radiesthesia's greatest lesson is this: sometimes the most profound discoveries lie just beyond the reach of our senses.